Hey man, construction doesn't happen unless you do something to get everything ready. That excavation, man, using the big machinery, that's the fun stuff us guys love. Stay tuned. We've got an expert here who's been doing it for over a decade. We'll be back. Giddy up. Welcome everybody to your little castle show. We are live from the Cardinal Cowboy studio here in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. Depending where you're at, sometimes I grew up in a town where we called it St. Louis, Missouri. Either one of those I think is proper if you actually look them up. But it's fun to be able to work with so many good business owners who are willing to share some of their insights and their trade secrets a little bit how they do this. If you missed the first interview with Matt, it was just a great interview. Really sharing what it is to get excavation, what it takes to get this done. Some great TikTok stuff we put up there for everybody to take a look at. And just here's a guy who really cares. And come from that same background. If you believe in a higher power, we're going to get along. And you can see that there's a lot that goes into making this whole world function. With that, we got into the analysis. Somebody, you don't want to cut corners in this space either.
You can't.
Especially when it comes to the insurance and the big equipment that's necessary. Give me a little bit more about why specifically somebody should choose you. What do you do to separate you from the rest?
Absolutely. So number one, I try to be somebody that keeps their word. So time deadline, I understand how important it is to meet deadlines. A lot of times we don't try to take work away from anybody, but we'll do things for even other companies that maybe they have a certain amount of people that are doing excavation and they've got another project that has to meet a deadline. Hey, just call me, I'm your guy. I don't need to tell. You always be respectful and honor their commitments, their work relationships. You don't have to tell other people, hey, try to go around their back and if you have more work in the future. No, you honor the people that you're with. I learned that doing bodyguarding a long time ago. You show up and you're under those people and you honor and respect them. But the accuracy of what we do, all the experience that we have, the equipment that we have, how fast that we can get everything done, excellent communication with the clients, the customers, and really understanding the end goal. So in 12 years, I really understand we can work with the engineers, the architects, and the clients to make sure that we're giving them what they want. And sometimes because of anomalies in the earth and like that spring thing I was telling you about, or different things that happen. Or something is collapsing, or somebody, like we've dealt with some really dangerous structural shoring jobs, and things are falling in. You have to make sure that those things are safe. So having that experience of even being able to tell the customer, if you do it this way, it's not going to be in your favor. And we want to see it work for you and last for a lifetime. So watching out for the best interests of the client in the end, knowing that you're serving them and that you want the right thing for them.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, you think that would be kind of nonsensical, or very common sense, I should say, but there's no nonsense and common sense to take care of people. When you're talking about big demolition here, you're taking down big properties and big buildings, and there's a lot of safety that's involved with that.
Absolutely. So we follow OSHA guidelines when it comes to things like asbestos removal and abatement. Of course, all that has to be done first. You have to coordinate with utilities, dealing with Ameren, dealing with Spire, dealing with Missouri American Water, and then of course any type of structure that's next to anything, just the physical location, making sure that it's fenced off properly, that people aren't getting in and out of your job site and they could be hurt. People could fall into an excavation just walking down we do all over St. Louis, St. Charles, Jefferson County, different counties next to lakes, on cliffs, down Echo Bluff State Park.
Okay.
So we're everywhere, and it's exciting, but each location brings safety challenges for sure that need to make sure that you're safe, and also anybody that could come into that area would be safe.
Yeah, they put in the restraints and the different safety features to make sure all those things happen too. What are some of the certifications, and are there any licensing necessary? Can anybody pick up an excavator and start digging and have a job, or what? Years of expertise. I mean.
Actually, you can pretty much do what you just said, and that's why you have guys on the internet, and there's just tons of them. People go to wherever and they buy an excavator, they buy a skid steer, and they're pulling it behind a truck. We show up on the scene with about $350,000 worth of braking equipment, the trucks, the trailer, the excavators, the skid steers, the brush hogs, the hydraulic equipment, all the different attachments, and it's one truck that shows up and everything's there. So yeah, I've been to, we're OSHA 10 certified. I've been to, we go to Missouri Common Ground and the Underground Utilities conferences almost on a yearly basis. There's really not an official, unless you're in the union, which there are, and I have nothing against the laborers. We're independent. I've been independent for almost 12 years now. But if you are in the union, then you'll go to school, and they'll actually, there's different union operators specifically for different equipment, and then you're actually in a school, like Rankin Technical College or something that's bigger for big equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and obviously the expertise that you bring to the table by doing this for so many years and having the etiquette and professionalism.
Now, as far as licensing goes, though, you had mentioned that. So you do have to have business licenses, and there's accountability through, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, St. Louis City. You have to have certain demolition permits or whatever if you're using explosives or different types of. So you have to have license, right?
Right.
You have to be. Don't get caught. It's just not worth it. The guys at St. Louis, they love me. Ari loves me. Thank you, Ari. All the different guys, the Karen Smith, the people that they just know, and they know what you're doing. Like when you build a rapport with them and they've come and inspected your work over and over and over, they're pretty comfortable with you, and not that they're letting anything slide, but they're like, oh, we know that if he takes a video or something, maybe for whatever reason the inspector just couldn't be there, and you're like, hey, I want this done, it's going to rain. Okay, take a video, because they know over 11 years you've compacted, you've done everything you've said you're going to do, so we know you're going to do it. And it's good when you build a rapport with people like that.
The reputation that you've developed over there, the rapport you've got with those guys,
sure,
makes it beneficial for everybody. Some of the benefits you bring by being a small business owner, somebody that can be more adapted to adjusting to issues and taking care of it.
Absolutely. Understanding what it's like to just need something. I've always been like that, to have a sense of urgency, to complete a project for somebody on time. Getting there, working late hours, getting to the point. I used to do this in my body shop. Like, you'd have to put something in primer before the end of the day, so it would dry overnight and be ready the next day. If you have a foundation guy that has got to get his foundation footings and forms in, on Wednesday morning and have the inspection at noon from the county, and then they're going to pour, then if it takes 16-hour day, Monday and Tuesday, to get those ready so that they're ready, then that's what it takes. And that's what we do. And we come in, people are amazed at how fast I can get things done with the equipment. When you show up with the right equipment and the right experience, we can get a lot of things done in a very short amount of time, precise, professional, accurate, and correct. So
yeah, and the liabilities that are there when you're knocking over buildings and
oh my gosh,
and the risks that are at stake.
Buildings, trees, all of it. Or digging and all the infrastructure of utilities. It's in the ground now. There's so much, and that's why it's constantly being updated. And if you hit a water main. Missouri American Water is not going to be happy with you, and neither is the county. Or if you hit a and I did this one time a long time ago. I actually hit a main line for a substation thing, and it was really shallow. So, but I still hit it, and put the power out for a little cul-de-sac, and they came out and fit, and nobody got hurt, and it was okay, and things happen. But yeah, if you make a mistake, you could, like if you hit an overhead power line with your machine, you could energize the machine, you could kill yourself, you could knock wires down that could kill other people. So excavation is a really dangerous profession to be in.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you're handling this big machinery and you think about some of those big power lines and all the other related stuff, and water,
or a pipeline,
right?
These guys that put in massive pipelines, or they're digging around them. If you hit a big pipeline, that's stuff that we learn when we go to these underground conferences and excavation schools. It could blow an 80,000-pound excavator and just make it look like there was a hole in the ground. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Hit somebody that knows what they're doing, everybody, when you're talking about this kind of stuff. Tell me then the process for somebody to hire you. Is it as simple as going to your website? I'll put that up on the wall here.
Absolutely. So going to our website, there is forms that you can fill out in the email. The best way to get a hold of me is to call me directly or send me a text. Once we get into email, we love to just have, if you have prints, foundation plans, that you can send straight to us. But we kind of have, right off the bat, when you call us, we'll want to know where you're at, because we want to know who we're dealing with as far as permits. And then what's the accessibility? So for instance, on pool demolitions, we want to know how close is it to your neighbors? Are we encroaching on your neighbors with a retaining wall or anything like that? We'll go over safety, access issues. And then of course, have you researched your project? Do you know, do you have a budget? Do you know what it costs to normally knock a house down or dig a pool or I'm sorry, excavate a pool or demo a pool? We dig pools too. But we'll go through a few questions over the phone just to make sure that we're a good fit for each other and that I can actually find out what your expectations are and make sure that we're able to do that for you and that we're also going to fit your timeline. That's really big. Like somebody might say, hey, I need something in 2 weeks, and if we're booked out for 2 months, I don't want to tell somebody and string them along. So we secure everything with contracts and deposits so that I don't overbook people. And I keep my workflow steady and that I can make sure I'm meeting people's deadlines and expectations.
Sounds like they've got it together here. Matt knows what he's talking about, that professionalism that we emphasize, because these days, if you don't do it right, you do it twice, it gets to be quite a bit more expensive to do so. Residential, commercial, you do a little bit of both. What do you like about each?
Yes, we do. So for instance, we did the Verizon building
Right.
6 or 7 years ago. That was a really big project. A lot of good guys that were in on that. Beats Plumbing, I think Stribe Electric and Bannon Studi. So it was a collaboration of several companies. So commercial projects are great. Dealing though with the payment schedule on commercial projects, sometimes for a smaller company, can be a little frustrating because we want to get obviously that cash flow going all the time,
right.
And they'll want to bump things out for us. But commercial projects are fine. We'll do commercial demolition, commercial excavation, residential projects, fire demolitions, in-ground pool demos, land clearing, site preparation for new home builds or different projects. Large retaining wall, a lot of hydraulic braking. We do a lot of hydraulic braking of concrete and rock. We've done several residential houses, even in St. Louis County, where you run into a lot of rock. And then especially around the Kirkwood area, you run into a lot of fat clay where it actually has to be overdug several feet. And then you put in clean rock, and it has to be compacted in lifts, and it has to be engineered compaction so that you're building a house in something. So it's got to be done right. We just did a huge excavation in Town and Country that it rained the whole time. The people had water mitigation issues in the backyard from prior things that were installed, and everything was collapsing. We had to excavate things out. I tried to get them to shore it, and from the beginning, it's really expensive. So they opted to just keep digging out things as they were. But we chased it out like 10 feet past where it should have been just to make it happen. In the end, the floor was really nice and tight and compacted, and it all worked out great. So
yeah, it seems like there's a lot that goes into this engineering we talked about because of the different texture of clay, the expansion, water retention, all these things, water drain. Wow, there's a lot you've got to be prepared.
There's a lot, and we always want to do what the engineer is the person that if you do what they say and you do it exactly how it's written, then all that liability falls on the person that designed it and engineered it, and that's what those guys went to school for. But it's fun to work with different architects and engineers and see that we have a huge project coming up in Wildwood that has these massive retaining walls, probably $350,000 in retaining walls that we're going to do. That one of them is like 320 feet by 15 feet, and then it's terraced, and the next one's 320 feet by about 10 feet. And there's a lot of technical engineering that goes into that. And designing the whole property and how they're going to have us cut it and grade it and dig the basement, the foundation. Really neat house. So I love. That's exciting. You asked me earlier, what do I like? It's fun, and it's fun to work with all those people. And when you have these different jobs, that one minute you're demolishing something, the next minute you're digging something that's going to be created into somebody's beautiful home. So that's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes to get these things done. When you see these big projects, and we're talking about just even highways and structures and
absolutely,
anything, there's all kinds of supports that go in there behind this that you don't understand.
Right.
And if you see everybody, if you've ever seen some landscaping, for instance, where they didn't support it properly, and then you see a piled over bunch of bricks, it's because all the structure was not properly installed with the right supports and the engineering necessary to do those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you like about St. Louis. Is this born and raised here?
Well, I was born and raised in St. Louis. Grew up in U City, and I love St. Louis. I love the diversity of St. Louis. So when I was a kid, I used to break dance all the time. We'd go with my friends, and we'd go down to the Loop.
Right.
And I was telling you earlier about the story about, you know, my parents. I wanted to buy a radio so we could all go dancing down in the loop, and they said, if you want a radio, you can use our lawnmower, and you know, you change the oil, you clean our lawnmower, but you can cut it and use it. So that summer I was 10
years old,
and I earned enough money to buy this $400 radio plus more, and that really started a work ethic in me to where I see that things need to get done in a certain amount of time. And that has transferred over. I've had a body and mechanical shop. I've had an indoor shooting range. I've been a police officer and a bodyguard over the years, and now this excavation company. And I really am all in for our clients to try to make sure that as much as we possibly can, weather permitting. You know, rain is the arch enemy to excavation. You can demo in the rain, you can break in the rain, you can do all these other things, but any kind of earthwork it's really can make it problematic. But I do everything that I can to try to keep our clients on schedule and give them exactly what they're expecting in the time that we can realistically do it in.
What do you like about the people you deal with there in St. Louis? Are people generally pretty nice?
In general, it's nice, and you know, it doesn't matter as far as like price or the price of the project. I'll do things for people in the city. We'll do things for people in the county. You know, I'm here for you to try to make sure that I'm giving you the end product that you need. So if it's a small project, that's okay. If it's a $500,000 project, that's great. You know, we just want to make sure that we're a good fit and that we can understand exactly what you want and then give that to you in the end of what we're doing for you.
There you have it, everybody. Some more excitement from a guy who's really down to earth and understands what it takes to build here in St. Louis. Unique structures we have here and a lot of different types of land that you got here. So we're talking about the clay and the rock and all the other mixtures of the above. But with that, we're going to go out and share some more of our fun in the community, and we'll be back here in just a minute. Stay tuned, everybody. It's your little castle show. Here we are, everybody. The Rawlings Westport Plaza, the big screen outside. Ozzie Smith was just here, signed autographs. Our buddy, Ed Wheatley, who was just on the show. Here we go. There's Ed right there. Hey, Ed. There's Tracy, got his book. We're inside. This is where it all was happening just minutes ago. You can see here it is. There's Ozzie, got his picture right down here, you can see. And this is the Rawlings experience. We just took a bunch of pictures here, put a post up about it, but it's quite the establishment. And all the history of Rawlings sports. Rawlings gloves. They've got a batting cage up here. This is quite the establishment. If you're looking for anything to do with baseball, especially its finest in the field gloves. But check it out. There's your batting cage. And here's the whole layout. So we hope you check out Rawlings here. They have everything you can imagine you would ever need if you're interested in learning about baseball and want to get a baseball glove. Finest in the field, the Cardinal Cowboy. Stay tuned, everybody. It's Cardinal Cowboy. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goal, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
So we're hearing all the time now why people need to be on our show, and it's pretty obvious. These days, the stats are proven. If you're going to get people's attention, you've got to get them with video. Google loves video. YouTube, obviously, is where you put your videos, and it's just a no-brainer. The problem is, until we kind of put together this whole format, there's no other way to get this kind of quality for the cost we put together. Because I'm a computer nerd, because I figured out how to automate, systematize, we've systematized this. Mom and Dad made me go to computer classes just in case the professional baseball career didn't work out. And so we started off doing one show, then 2 shows, then 3 shows, and then we had to jump to 5 shows a week just to fill the demand, because here you get a professional video that looks dynamite, that'll let your business really showcase what they do, and you don't have to spend $10, $15, $20, $30,000 to do it. So if you'd like to be on the show, get a hold of us and understand these stats. When you're on a show like this, when you put this on your website, you're going to decrease your bounce rate by 34%. You're going to increase your close rate, your conversion rate, by up to 80%. We have clients tell us they get 25% more closed deals because of the show. They track this. They can speak to that. And you're going to just get an overall boom for your business. You've got to do video. If you don't do it through us, do it somewhere. Do it yourself. Do it, but do it professionally. Don't make your business look worse. Make your business look better. This video can be used for up to 7 years. We have clients, we did an interview with them 2020. It's 2026. They have made over $360,000 by using our video. They came back to do it again. So get a hold of us. Jump on here. Go to bigleagues.com. That's BIGG leagues.com. Or call us or text us right there, the phone number you see there. And we look forward to having you on our show. Stay tuned. Giddy up. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Your Little Castle Show. And having just a great conversation here. We get a little break there. And Matt and I are kind of sharing some of our history. I get to learn a little bit about our guests.
Yeah.
And boy, life is tough, but you go through hurdles. And when I went through, we went through a terrible accident. And God just directs you where you need to be. And
Absolutely.
I had the same exact resolution as if I was supposed to go up to heaven because my time was done here. That's what happened with my buddy Jimmy. Then that's where I would have gone. But since I'm not, I'm still here for a reason.
Yeah.
Got a lot of work to do. So powerful stuff.
Amen.
And really neat. Tell me a time when you have had to go out of your way, though, with your business-related stuff to help somebody that got stuck in a situation. And you're like, oh boy.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Smithers. That's when you say that. That comes to me. So one of my first really big shoring jobs was this guy, Mr. Smithers, and so he's like behind WashU, up in like Clayton, U City area, and so I don't even know the company, so I can't say who they were, but evidently there was this famous company that used to like jack up houses, and they had their own TV show and all this, and they would move these houses. So this guy has probably a multi-million-dollar house that didn't have a basement. So they had jacked up this house and dug out and excavated all, and they were going to put a full foundation under this basement. Well, they also, on the driveway, imagine like you have this concrete driveway that's 10 feet wide, and then they had dug everything out under the driveway more than halfway over. There was no underpinning, no shoring, no nothing there. So this was a really dangerous situation. And so his whole backyard is now to be excavated, and it was back in 2015 when we had all the raining and it was getting hot and cold. It was like a February, and so his whole backyard's collapsing. So that's how I met Scott with Bannon and Stewed, and I went in there and we did a shoring project, and we put in all this shoring to keep. So the neighbor's yard was collapsing, the neighbor's fence, like this whole thing was collapsing, and it was really dangerous, and it was pouring down rain. So he was almost in tears, like, what am I going to do if this collapses and all this? So we got in there. Took us about 3 weeks in the rain to get everything safe and get it all installed, but we did it. And he was ecstatic, like he went from almost crying to like tears of, oh my God, it's going to be ruined, to tears of joy, like just profusely thanking us for what we did.
There you go. Take
Yeah.
it above and beyond.
Yeah.
Boy, where there's a will, there's a way. That's a lot of work, man.
It was.
You get a big house call, start collapsing on you. You've got some big problems there. That could be a lot to deal with. Any particular hurdles you've overcome with your business? You were like, didn't see that coming, but it made you stronger, and you obviously made it through it.
Oh, just all the time. I mean, dealing with equipment, from equipment breaking to challenges of you're in the middle of an excavation and just things that you can't control. For instance, we dig in the city a lot. I've done some of those $1 million townhouses down around Lafayette and the historical district down there off of Park and all that. And things just sliding in because 50 years ago they didn't have the rules that they have about demolitions and what you can put in the hole after something's done. And you run it. I'm surprised they haven't dug up a body. You run into all this debris and junk, and you're taking things out, and so there's no cohesive soil. So as you're digging, you're thinking, oh, I might be digging this box, and then the box just gets bigger and bigger because the sides are sliding in and caving in, and so many different challenges that are humbling and a good learning experience. But probably one of the so you can deal with a client that maybe is a really difficult person to deal with, and you're trying to balance that.
Right.
Or you're dealing with, you're in the middle of a job and there's safety issues and risks, or you're in the middle of a job and your equipment breaks and you have to immediately do something to finish the job, because when you're on that clock and things are happening, you can't have any downtime. So, yeah, there's just so much. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility here
Yes, sir.
To get things done, and so wow, we could go on for a while. We got about a minute and a half here to
Oh,
finish
wow.
up here. Time goes fast when
Yeah, I love it.
when you're having fun. Media though, how has technology changed? Our book here, #1 seller on Amazon. You can see our Magnetize Your Media. Yours truly wrote the foreword here. But tell us, how has technology changed the way you obviously understand doing videos and share some of your information, your website, your social media.
That's absolutely right. So www.sovereignexcavation.com. 314-308-7161 with those of you blokes that still like to use the telly, or www.sovereignexcavation.com. So that's from my
That'll catch
excavator all the time. TikTok, YouTube. I love it because it's really neat. Like, people don't understand what it's like, and then you're seeing the building come down, and you're seeing the massive tree get pushed over, or you're seeing, and the excavator's in the middle of this massive pool and it's being broken out. That's what's helped us bring it to you right there.
And
so you
they're
understand.
live from his cell phone while
Yeah.
he's up there, got a little break and can record about what that's going on. What mistakes do some of the other guys make that you won't allow your customers to make? We've got about 30 seconds left here.
To allow my customers to make, just having that really good communication of understanding their expectations, their timeline, their budget. If something is going to potentially be a problem, laying out the contingencies from the beginning. Hey, if this happens, then this could happen. And if this happens, then this could, and just preparing clients from the beginning through the experience. There's so many things that could change, and if it does, I want them to be prepared, not shocked.
There it is. I'm going to shoot out on the wide angle. Here's some of this construction demolition right there from our expert, Matt. It does a great job, and we look forward to having you guys. Hey, get a hold of him if you need some expert excavation. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Stay tuned, everybody. Get up.